Bob Ross is the president of the California Endowment. He previously worked as the health officer for the County of San Diego, and that's all I can remember since I don't have any written notes for him because we were expecting him not to be here. But I can tell you that he has been a true leader both in healthcare and in public health and in addressing the issues that confront low-income communities and helping to build the movements that Tony and Sam Cass were talking about that are going to lead to a healthier California and a healthier nation. So I'm delighted to present Dr. Bob Ross.
Oh, thank you so much. And just three big thank yous. The first one to all of you. How many years have we had this conference now? 6 years? 10? And the first 6, 10, they don't know. The first meeting was in one of the breakout rooms upstairs, right? Just the work that all of you are doing to provide leadership on this issue, we just really, really, really appreciate those of us at the California Endowment, for sure, in the world of philanthropy, but those among us who are advocates for a healthy future for our children. So just my heart goes out, and thanks to each and every one of you for what you do, when you do it, how you do it, wherever you do it across this country. You're providing extraordinary leadership, and so just a big, hearty thank you to every single one of you. That's number one. The second thank you, inside our own shop, Marion Standish has been pounding away at this issue for a long time. Yammering in my ear about this issue long before it was on the cover of Newsweek and Time and on CNN, and long before anyone even heard of Barack Obama. Marion was saying, we have to do something about this issue, this is terrible, and I kept saying, okay, Marion, we'll get to it. But thank you, Marion, for continuing to fuss and fight on behalf of young people, and another example of leadership at important places. And then finally, yeah, sure, round of applause for Marion. Thank you, Marion. I know you heard from Tony Eiton. You know, the success goes when you hire people that are smarter than you. And in this case, I hired somebody who was way smarter than me, so I should do pretty well. Thank you, Tony Eiton, for your leadership. And then lastly, I just want to give you a little vignette about leadership, and I'll try and do this in a way where it's an independent, nonpartisan foundation, so I'll just try and do this in a way that doesn't come off as partisan. But when you see leadership, you just have to, you know, we see so many cases of non-leadership getting on the media that when you see a case of leadership, you have to lift it up. In the spring of 2009, it was a beautiful day. It might have been, and it wasn't freezing cold, so it might have been maybe April or May, Sam. I was in Washington for a day of meetings with important policy people about various health issues, health reform, and childhood obesity, and had a day of meetings with all these people with fancy titles after the names, you know, cabinet secretaries and deputy policy this and chief of that, and these are the kind of meetings that, you know, you want to have to get up front and close with people in administration, hoping that one of them can bend the president's ear about what you're trying to do, right? And so in the middle of this madcap of day of meetings, a person who was with me suggested, you know what, we really should try and go see Sam Cass. I said, Sam Cass, he's not on my list. You know, who is he? Oh, well, he's the chef for the Obama family. I said, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna, okay, you know, he's, you know, I'm trying to see Melody Barnes and, you know, Sibilia, you know, and it's just, you know, you want to go see the cook for the family? Okay, whatever, right? You know, I got 8 minutes of downtime, sure, why not, right? Well, he's the guy, he was the force behind making sure that the Obama family had the, you know, the garden and the the organic garden and the composting. And so, this young white dude comes down, looking like, hey, dude, right? All right, whatever. And so we take this tour, and then, we connected, Sam. I mean, I don't know if it was a man crush, but we. But this guy was not just a cook. Okay? He had a passion and a vision, and I was floored by his knowledge, intimate knowledge of public policy issues around, the Ag Bill and the Child Nutrition Act, and I was like, wow, this guy's like, senior policy director. But his passion for wanting to, and this was not just him, he was clearly speaking on behalf of the Obama family and the leadership of the Obama family, which was Michelle Obama, about, am I going to get audited for saying that next year, sir? Okay. And he said to me, the First Lady wants to do something about this issue, and we're not sure yet. But what do you think about us organizing some folks like you to come in and sit down and have a conversation with the First Lady about this? So here I am, breaking my neck to meet all these important people with titles, and here's the guy that can get it done, right? And a couple of months later, we had our meeting, and the First Lady was phenomenal. I was expecting her to come in for 15 minutes and then leave the rest of the conversation to staff. She had all the key people from multiple departments mobilized to be at the meeting. And she was in conversation with us. I guess it was maybe about a dozen of us so-called experts in the field. And she sat for 2.5 hours and spoke. And I tell you, that lady's a quick study, man. She knew, however quickly she's gotten on this, she easily has at least a master's in public policy and nutrition by the wealth of knowledge she showed, the questions that she asked, and her very active intent listening. And then a few months after that, Let's Move was born. Right? And so it was, the president gets all the accolades he's doing this issue. The First Lady, for sure, she's been a dynamo and just phenomenal. I wonder how much of a grant we would have to make at the California Endowment to get the kind of coverage for this issue that matches what the First Lady has brought. Okay, we couldn't make a $500 million grant to get the kind of coverage that she's brought. It's just been a phenomenal assertion of leadership and passion on her behalf. And taking criticism along the way, of course, in this kind of partisan environment. But the last thank you I really want to reserve for Sam, who's thoughtful, quiet, assertive, informative, passionate, and creative leadership has really, he's just been an incredible part of the Michelle Obama team. And him making the trip out here to see us. He's got to take the red eye back tonight and probably got to cook breakfast for some folks in the morning. But Sam Cass, thank you for all you're doing for this country, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.